Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Daily Videos with Pastor Michelle. Let's open with some reflection, shall we? You can't fix what's in your head using what's in your head. What do I do then? Unlearn. How do I do that? Choose differently. You stand on the edge of a canyon and you shout something. The world and the universe echo your own voice back, whether you shout Yahoo or Yeehaw. That's how echoes work. What you throw out echoes your own energy back. I love you. Thank you, Creator. I am happy. Such a small thing to consider, but such a large thing to do. Which words am I throwing out to the universe today, and what will come back to me as a result? I like that. So what words are you throwing out to the universe? Yeah, I think sometimes mine are frustration. I'm not always the best person. I don't always make the best decisions, and I'm not always the kindest to everyone around me. And for that, I apologize. I think there's a great joke that I've used in sermons where it's like it's a prayer, and it says, Lord, I can't remember exactly. Lord, help me to be the best person I can be. Help me to make every great decision and to be nothing but love. And I know that I can do that. I'm going to just be nothing but love. And then the prayer says something like, but soon I'm going to wake up. Or it basically, I didn't get the punchline right, but it basically just says that, I'm laying in bed. When someone's laying in bed, not moving, not doing anything, it's easy to make all the right decisions. But once you wake up and once you get out into the world, it gets harder. But I think life, for me, when it comes right down to it, my own philosophy and beliefs about what life means and what we're supposed to do, I think each day we're called to rise and be the best version of ourselves that we can be. When we fail, we pick ourselves back up and we start again. And we do better. We learn from our mistakes and we continue each day and make the most of every second that we are allotted in this life. And to be graceful, to be forgiving of ourselves and not only of others, because, mistakes are going to be made. We're going to mess up. Some days we may be the worst versions of ourselves, and we just have to learn from our mistakes and continue on. So I think we have to be very graceful with ourselves even now, because we're living through this pandemic. All of us have never been here before, and it's unprecedented time, because there is no, how do we know if there's a right way to get through it and a wrong way? I guess you could say the wrong way is if you go out and, I don't know, not take the right safety precautions. But as long as you're being safe and maintaining distance with people and all that, and as long as you're trying your best to spread love, I think that's the best way that we can get through this thing, get through all of it, get through the racial tensions that continue to exist in our country. And I think one of the things that we can do is just continue to be love and continue to spread love, and until one day love does eradicate hate. So anyway, with all that said, let's have a moment of prayer with Lemmy's squeaky toy in the background. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I say all that because I just, some mornings are tough. Yeah, had a little tiff with my wife this morning. So just knowing that, we don't always get along the best, but marriage is not always peachy, and it's not always rainbows and puppy dogs. Marriage is hard work. I love you, Janelle. I know you're probably not watching this, but yeah. Anyway, so let's go on with the woman of the day. We all try our best, right? All right. So our woman of the day is Rangira Mati. So let's hear about her. So she was born in 1940 in a village in Kenya. As a child, she loved nature, especially walking in the stream to fetch water and watch the tadpoles wiggle in the clear water. Later, her family moved farther along the Rift Valley, where her father had found work on a farm, but soon they returned because there weren't enough opportunities for her education, which was very important to her parents. She then went to St. Cecilia's School, becoming fluent in English and converting to Catholicism. As one of the very best students at the Laredo High School, she was chosen to study in the U.S. In the U.S., she earned a degree in biological sciences and a master's degree in science. She went on to become the first woman in East and Central Africa ever to earn a doctorate. She also became chair of the Department of Veterinarian Anatomy, and then an associate professor, once again, the first woman in this part of Africa to achieve these things. But all these firsts weren't enough for her. She wanted to make an even bigger difference. Sorry, my nose is itching. She listened to local women telling her that streams, like the ones she remembered from her childhood, were drying up. Food was less plentiful, and they were walking farther and farther to collect firewood. She knew something had to be done to stop the deforestation that was causing so many problems in Kenya. Then she had a brilliant idea. Her idea was that everyone can make a difference in the world, saving the environment one tree at a time. She warned people, if you destroy the forest, then the river will stop flowing. The rains will become irregular, the crops will fail, and you will die of hunger and starvation. Local communities could protect their environment from these problems by planting trees and earning money at the same time. Now called the Green Belt Movement, her idea was hugely successful. There's President Obama. Since 1977, this movement has helped communities plant over 51 million trees in Kenya. It's made the government work harder to protect the environment, stopping farming from destroying the forests, and teaches Kenyans to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Rangari was also passionate about education, which she saw as an answer to ending the HIV or AIDS pandemic that has devastated Africa and left behind nearly 15 million orphans. She believed that the only way to change things... She believed that the only way to change things and to stop Africa being lost to the threat of disease was to eliminate ignorance, fear, and a sense of helplessness through education. Tirelessly working to help protect both her own country and the continent of Africa, she wrote 4 books about ecology in Africa. She also founded the Rangari Institute for Peace and Environment Studies, bringing together academic research with the GBM's community-led action so that scientists and villagers could work together to save the earth. She accomplished all this while raising 3 children. Invited to be a United Nations messenger for peace, she addressed the United Nations many times and worked on several international environmental projects, including the Earth Summit. She was awarded many honorary degrees and won dozens of the international awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004, when she became the first African woman to win the prize. She dedicated her life to helping women, the environment, Kenya, and indeed the rest of Africa, all of which she believed to be linked. A leader in education, she dreamed of a world where communities could be empowered, especially women and children, where the environment could be protected and preserved, and where everyone could live in peace and harmony. Her hard work means that local communities in Kenya, and thanks to her example around the world, are many steps closer to achieving that dream. And so some of her quotes: trees are symbols of peace and hope. To the young people I say, you are a gift to your community, and indeed the world. You are our hope and our future. We cannot live or give up. We owe it to the present and future generations of all species to rise up and walk. And so, as I said, there she is with President Obama, if you can see that. And there she is demonstrating the success of the Green Belt movement. And so good for her going out and making a difference. And so tomorrow, our woman of the day will be Elizabeth Blackwell, the first Anglo-American female doctor. And so, Lemmy, what are you doing? Sorry. So it is inspiring to hear about all all these different women that have made a difference. So, speaking of women, let's hear about Katniss, shall we? All right. So, I'm so weary, I don't even notice I'm in the pool until I'm ankle deep, spring-fed, bubbling up out of the crevice in some rocks and blissfully cool. I plunge my hands into the shallow water and feel instant relief. Isn't that what my mother always say? The first treatment for a burn is cold water, that it draws out the heat, but she means minor burns. Probably she recommend it for my hands, but what of my calf? Although I've not yet had the courage to examine it, I'm guessing that it's an injury in the whole different class. I lie on my stomach at the edge of the pool for a while, dangling my hands in the water, examining the little flames on my fingernails that are beginning to chip off. Good, I've had enough fire for a lifetime. I bathe the blood and ash from my face. I try to recall all I know about burns. There are common injuries in the seam where we cook and heat our homes with coal. Then there are mine accidents. A family once brought in an unconscious young man, pleading with my mother to help him. The district doctor, who's responsible for treating the miners, had written him off, told the family to take him home to die, but they wouldn't accept this. He lay on our kitchen table, senseless to the world. I got a glimpse of the wound on his thigh, gaping, charred flesh, burned clear down to the bone before I ran from the house. Lemmy, come here. Sorry. I went to the woods and hunted the entire day, haunted by the gruesome leg, memories of my father's death. What's funny was Prim, who's scared of her own shadow, stayed and helped. My mother says healers are born, not made. They did their best, but the man died just like the doctor said he would. My leg is in need of attention, but I still can't look at it. What if it's as bad as the man's and I can see my bone? Then I remember my mother saying that if it burned severe, the victim might not even feel pain because the nerves would be destroyed. Encouraged by this, I sit up and swing my leg in front of me. I almost faint at the sight of my calf. The flesh is brilliant red, covered with blisters. I force myself to take deep, slow breaths, feeling quite certain the cameras are on my face. I can't show weakness at this injury, not if I want help. Pity does not get you aid. Admiration at your refusal to give in does. I cut the remains of the pant leg off at the knee and examine the injury more closely. The burned area is about the size of my hand. None of the skin is blackened. I think it's not too bad to soak. Gingerly, I stretch out my leg into the pool, propping the heel of my boot on a rock so the leather doesn't get so sodden. And sigh, because this does offer some relief. I know there are herbs, if I could find them, that would speed the healing, but I can't quite call them to mind. Water and time will probably be all I have to work with. Should I be moving on? The smoke is slowly clearing. Lemmy, come here! Want a treat? Oh, there you are. Sorry. Smoke is slowly clearing, but still too heavy to be healthy. If I do continue away from the fire, won't I be walking straight into the weapons of the careers? Besides, every time I lift my leg from the water, the pain rebounds so intensely I have to slide it back in. My hands are slightly less demanding. They can handle small breaks from the pool, so I slowly put my gear back in order. First, I fill my water with the pool water, treat it, and when enough time has passed, begin to rehydrate my body. After a time, I force myself to nibble on a cracker, which helps settle my stomach. I roll up my sleeping bag, except for a few black marks. It's relatively unscathed. My jacket's another matter, stinking and scorched, at least a foot of the back beyond repair. I cut off the damaged area, leaving me with the garment that comes just to the bottom of my ribs. But the hood's intact, and it's far better than nothing. So, that's all I'm going to read today, and tomorrow we are going to finish up this chapter. And so, anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and may you remember, and may you know, God's love is with you. And so take care, my friends. Stay safe out there. Continue to spread love as best as you can.